Hello there and a warm welcome to SA Decides, brought to you by ANN7. My name is Audrey Chimwanda. This time we're coming to you from the northernmost part of the country. We are in Limpopo province, specifically in Vhembe district municipalities, which is up for grabs come the 3rd of August, or is it? ANC has been enjoying a lot of voters in this municipality. We'll try and find out if the other political parties have what it takes to wrestle power from the governing party. Also, residents from this municipality will be joining us in the second half of the debate from different political parties, and they will be posing their questions to the leadership that we have here today. Let me take this opportunity to introduce to you who we have on my panelists. From COPE, we have Mr. Bali Percival. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
And from the ANC, we have their mayoral candidate, that's Ms. Florence Radzilani. Ma'am, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
And to her left, from the Democratic Alliance, we have Thelma Marole. Ma'am, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We have a full house today. Also from the UDM, we have Mrs. Motlatso Selema, who is also a provincial chair of the UDM in Limpopo province. Ma'am, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And last but not least, from the ACDP, we have a councillor who's also Pastor Ben Mankili. Pastor, thank you for joining us. Well, there you have it. Let's get the ball rolling. Let the debate begin. But we'll start with COPE. Sir, in a minute, tell us what the Congress of the People are about in this municipality.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me just start by saying COPE is the party that was formed on the basis of upholding the Constitution and believes in equality before the law and honor all the Chapter 9 institutions. It is an organization that said to Jacob Zuma, after it has detected that he's not the person who can be able to take the cohesiveness of our people forward, it has been captured by the very irresponsible, unaccountable hooligans and thieves. Hence, this economic meltdown. COPE is the party that said ANC has strayed away from the Freedom Charter, hence our name. The party that knew from the onset that the dysfunctional ANC will not be able to take the good legacy of Nelson Mandela and Thabo Mbeki.
On that note, your minute is up. Thank you so much, sir. That was the COPE's opening remarks. We go to the ANC now. Ms. Florence Radzilani, in a minute, tell us what your priorities as the ANC are in this municipality and how you plan on retaining the governing seat.
Thank you very much. Let me indicate to you that the African National Congress is the liberation movement established in 1912 with one purpose: to liberate the people of South Africa, to serve the people of this country. Let me indicate to you that as the party which is in government, of course we will proceed to build on the achievement that we have made up to so far in terms of the delivery of basic services. We are also planning to expand the electrification program so that our people keep on getting electricity. As I'm talking to you now, looking at the district, we have managed to electrify all the villages in the district. We are only left with the new extensions. And I also want to indicate that on those new extensions, we will work hand in hand with ESCOM to speed up, to make sure that even though those who are in new establishment, they also benefit and get electricity. One other challenge which we have also come across as the African National Congress during our election work, as we're engaging with our communities, is the issue around the challenge of water. Let me indicate that as the ANC-led government in Vhembe district, we are going to ensure that we increase and expand all the existing dams in our district and also build the new dams and also ensure that all our water treatment infrastructures are in place.
On that note, Ms. Radzilani, your 1 minute is up. Thank you so much for those opening remarks. The ANC, they're citing all the achievements that they have been able to manifest as the governing party. We go to the Democratic Alliance now. Ma'am, in a minute, please tell us what you think the people of Vhembe District Municipality need.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Democratic Alliance is the only party that is anti-ANC. It stands on its value, fairness. We prefer freedom, fairness, and open opportunity society for all. As we approach these elections, we have got a number of things. We are going to create more opportunities and jobs for all South Africans, as we can see that unemployment is at a higher level. We also have to consider the best, to provide the best of service delivery, as well as to stop corruption. As we are speaking right now.
Well, that's it from the Democratic Alliance. Ma'am, thank you for your opening remarks. Also, we have the UDM in the House. Ms. Thelma, This is the UDM, yes. Mrs. Motlatso Selemo, tell us the key components from your manifesto as we approach the polls, the race is heating up. Just remind the electorate again what you have to offer.
Let me start by indicating that UDM is the first party that was formed immediately after democracy in 1994. 4 years after, in 1994, UDM formed 4 years after that, because it's the first party that indicated corruption. It is the party that started showing the ruling party that there is a lot of corruption that was done a lot of corruption that was done. It is important to indicate that change is needed. The ruling party was mandated by our society to make change in their lives. But unfortunately enough, what we see today is a lot of corruption, maladministration, which compromised our service delivery. The UDM therefore makes a commitment to all its members and local government candidate councillors to put community first. We are the councillors of UDM who are not here because of they can be here. They are mandated by the community. So in UDM, we put community first.
On that note, ma'am, your 1 minute is up. Thank you so much for those opening remarks. ACDP, sir, in a minute as well. Tell us what your party is about in this municipality, as well as the key components, perhaps, of your manifesto.
Thank you. ACDP is a political party based on biblical principle. We have a vision for a strong and healthy and prosperous nation, and are committed to seeing genuine change and renewal in our country that is modeled on value-based norms such as integrity, justice, honesty, and respect. We want to foster a spirit of true reconciliation, inclusivity, where respect for God and for one another become the hallmark of South Africa's legacy. The ACDP is committed to providing reliable, truthworthy councillors who are passionate about addressing the needs and improving the lives of people in their respective municipalities. The focus points of our campaign include service delivery, small business development, house, health, transport infrastructure, rural development, and community safety.
Pastor Makili, thank you so much for those opening remarks. There you have it. The ice has been broken. It's time for us to get into the bread and butter issues and issues that also concern this municipality. I'll start with the ANC mayoral candidate, Ms. Florence Radzilani. This is not your first time in this hot seat. You have been the mayor of this municipality before. You are coming back the second time again. What do you have to offer to the municipality, and also just looking at all the violent protests that have been happening, especially in this municipality, how do you intend on making sure that the people who seem to be not satisfied with service delivery, issues of demarcation processes, are satisfied?
Thank you very much. You are very much correct to say I'm coming to this position for the second time, which of course I will have to appreciate my political party, the African National Congress, for giving me this opportunity to lead the municipality again, because come the 3rd of August, the ANC. I also want to indicate that as the district, we have engaged with our communities. The main critical area of focus, it will be on local economic development so that we create jobs for our people. As I'm talking to you now, there are programs in place in terms of our IDP, wherein the youth programs have been allocated some funds. We will also make sure that we continue to give our people water. If you check in areas like Makado, there was a problem with the sewer system. As I'm talking now, the district has put aside 74 million. I was still indicating to you that when we engage with our communities, let me give you the example. Around Makado, there is a very serious challenge with regard to the sewer plant. As I'm talking to you now, because we are the organization that listen to the people, we have engaged the people around that area. We have put aside 74 million to cater for that challenge. One other issue which I also want to indicate to you is that up to so far we have managed. There are communities that are receiving water 24 hours. You go to Makwarera Extension 3, you go to DDD, you go to Manini. Those are the areas.
Right.
And also
thank you for that response, ma'am. I want to come to Pope now, who seem to have laid allegations of corruption in this municipality.
Thanks for that question. Let me just give you one, if not two examples. There are a lot of pipes which have been dug in and out from Nandoni Dam to other villages. Now, as we speak, when you come into one village called Mpambo, just next to Malamulele, they are busy digging out the pipes right now. The municipality, that which my comrade next to me has mentioned, Makado, not so long they've opened one of the stadiums called Bungeni Stadium. They've only built one guard room plus 4 toilets. As I tell you today, that stadium is not even playable, but 6 million has been paid out. That is part of the corruption we're talking about.
All right. As a Democratic Alliance, you're part of the opposition, and surely part of your job is to work with the governing party to make sure that the service delivery in this municipality is not hampered. They have cited all the achievements they've managed so far as the governing party. As a Democratic Alliance, the COPE is speaking of allegations of corruption. Do you see this perhaps as a problem when it comes to service delivery in this municipality? And as a Democratic Alliance, if you're to come into power, would you have structures in place to make sure that issues of corruption are ironed out?
Definitely sure corruption is a serious problem in this municipality. I think it's one thing that has hampered the development of our municipality as well as service delivery. If I can add more, we have got the taxi rank just around the corner here in Thohoyandou, and that taxi rank has been budgeted for more than 250 million. It's completed. It was supposed to open last year, June. Up to now, it's not open due to structural failure. The question is, why? Right. We also have got the bus rank in Sibasa. The Tulamela mayor opened it during February. After 4 to 6 weeks, when we had those rains, the pavements were sinking. The question is why? So there are a number of cases that I can even add more. In our Sibasa testing stations, when learners are tested drivers, it is said they have to pay 1,500 for Jojo. The question is why all these things are happening under the nose of the ANC.
All right, and we'll get Mr. Azani to an opportunity to answer all these questions. I just want to get a comment from the UDM. Ma'am, as we approach the elections, do you have a realistic chance of actually winning a considerable number of seats so that you can have some kind of influence in this municipality? Also, are you open to a coalition with any of the governing parties in this municipality?
Let me indicate that when we approach this election as UDM, what we are going to do, we are going to talk with each other in order that we must make sure that our people here get service delivery. It is going to be important to talk with other parties in order that everything is being done orderly.
All right.
And let me indicate that what we plan to do as UDM, we are going to make sure that our councillors are reliable councillors. The councillors that will take and sustain whatever they have to do to the people. The councillors that will never be engaged in any form of corruption. In corruption, for instance, when people are hired, they are not hired in terms of to which political party do they belong. They will be hired according to the knowledge of the work that they are supposed to do.
Right, and speaking of knowledge of work that a political party is supposed to do, the ANC has been governing this municipality for a long time now. They have a list of their own achievements. They enjoy some kind of popularity when it comes to a voter base. As the ACDP, there's an issue of a moral perspective that you bring onto the election, into this election. Issues of corruption, where do you stand with that, Pastor Mankili?
Thank you, Madam. It is true that as the ACDP, we have in our list most reliable those who are God-fearing people as candidates of the ACDP, of which, in terms of corruptions, they are not going to commit that sin because they are afraid to be arrested. They will be only to be afraid that they will be going into hell.
This time is not time for excuses. The moment the leader of the ANC indicates that the pipes from Nandoni to other communities was budgeted at first. Oh. What I would like the listeners to know.
Yes.
What I would like the listeners to know is that the 75 million budgeted now, automatically it is going to be wasteful expenditure.
Okay.
Now, the vision for each municipality is to get the clean audit. AG, after each financial year, indicates what should be done in order to move away from either qualified or unqualified opinion. But this ANC-led government, in 22 years that they've been leading this municipality, they have never ever obtained any clean audit.
Okay, obviously the issue of a clean audit being a huge concern in this municipality. We will go to the ANC now, ma'am, and I don't think I would have done our viewers justice if I do not address the issue. I know we spoke about the protests, the violent protests that we have seen in Limpopo, but especially what happened in Vuwani with the burning of schools, a destruction of property. Who is responsible for the disenchantment of the people of Vuwani that led to the destruction of such expensive and valuable property? And has the issue been resolved? And what has happened to the school children as well? Have they been inducted back into school? What is the progress?
The issue of Vuwani, let me indicate that as the ANC, we have done enough in terms of engaging our ANC structures in Vuwani. As I'm speaking to you now, the ANC-led government has done enough in terms of making sure that our ministers come down here, engage the communities of Vuwani. So the engagement will continue. And also when you check the intervention of government in terms of bringing the mobile classes, in terms of making sure that our grade learners are taken to other camps so that they can receive the education.
But what structures do you have in place to make sure that we do not have such a situation like that again? And who takes responsibility for such disenchantment with residents to the extent that they come to a point where they feel they're not being heard and they're not being respected?
On issues like this, all of us, ANC as the political party, the ANC-led government, our traditional leaders, and all other civic organizations, I think we need to come together. Like I said to you, the process is always unfolding to engage the communities around Vuwani so that at the end, all of us will get the solution and resolve whatever anomalies are there.
Come to the Democratic Alliance now to try and get a reaction from them. Ma'am, issues of service delivery in Limpopo, just to make sure that issues of protesting do not get out of hand.
Thank you. I think the ANC delayed to chip into the Vuwani issues. We agreed that the grade 12 learners are now camped somewhere. The question is, what about all the grades from grade R to grade 11? Should the grade 10 learners passed? Which means next year there will be no grade 10 learners because we don't have the current teaching and learning now.
Right. So obviously not enough has been done.
Yes.
But as a Democratic Alliance,
that's our
where do you come in with your policies, or do you just ride on critiquing all the achievements that have been done by the ANC? Where do you come in as a Democratic Alliance?
Actually, if you remember, the DA is one of the first party that laid the case against the demarcation, and then we didn't win. So after that, we realized that what the demarcation has said should go on.
Right. Thank you. Well, let's come to the UDM now, just before we take a break from the first half of our debate. That's Mrs. Matlatso Selemos, also the provincial chair of UDM in Limpopo province. Ma'am, your reactions when it comes to service delivery in Limpopo, is enough being done?
When we talk about Vuwani, as UDM, we are saying nothing has been done. In order for the people to listen to you, must go to them and understand them. Talk to them and hear what they want. When we check with the ruling party, when we see that what is happening in Vuwani is that people are not listened to. The people of Vuwani are talking to government. They want government to listen to what they want. Right. What is happening shows that our government is not listening to our people.
ACDP, please chip in. What do we need to do to make sure that communication structures are in place from the people on the grassroots level when they try to communicate to their leaders and that they are heard?
As I indicated before, that the ACDP has reliable and trustworthy councillors. So as you are asking, madam, is that it is committed to extending this property ownership to every citizen, every community member, every ownership. As you check around here, the thing is done. It's not well done by the ANC. If we check what is happening in the project the ANC is doing, we check in terms of electricity supply. There is a place called Makonde. It has been started long time ago. Even today, people of that community are still waiting. There is also a stadium which has been started long time ago. It is still unfinished. So the ACDP now, as I speak, if ever we can be elected into power, what we are going to do we are going to change the setup and use our own strategy.
Which is?
Strategy on skill development, training of the people
Okay.
that will be running the projects.
Right. Thank you, Pastor Ben from the ACDP. Well, it's time for us to take a short break, and we'll be back in a moment. You're watching SA Decides, a town hall debate coming from Limpopo province. This is Vembe District Municipality. Do stay with us.